Well, good morning. Good morning. Good morning to ODS. I know he sent that message about 30 minutes ago. Good morning to ATL Gail. Good morning to Miss Douglas. Good morning to Gigi. Good morning to everybody. Y'all, so I don't even know where I want to begin with my commentary. And I know I always say that. But after yesterday, I really don't know where I want to begin. Now, when I woke up yesterday morning, of course, I woke up to the same thing that all of y'all woke up to with the video of Rico. Good morning, Raytrix, moderator. I think it's very, very unfortunate what has happened, and I think that could have been handled a plethora of different ways. Specifically, if you are friends with somebody or consider somebody a friend and you have direct access or contact to them, if you have an issue with them or an issue about what they might have done in a video, you pick up the phone and call them. That's the only right thing to do. When I sit here and I think about just how all of that played out over the course of the last 2 weeks or so, to me, it seems like there is a missing piece to the puzzle that just has not come out yet. Because for the life of me, come on, you ready to come out? For the life of me, I cannot understand how, come on. But don't jump up here. My computer right here. Don't jump up here. Chill. I'm doing my show. Chill. For the life of me, though, y'all, I just don't understand where the disconnect happened in that YouTube ship, that friendship, whatever you might call it. Good morning, Bernice and Jamie Brown and VA Sagittarius. With a certain level of respect and like a certain just some type of rapport with somebody, I would honestly think that, yeah, you would pick up the phone and call. I have a few YouTube ships on here where if I had to address something, now I would say probably 4 years ago, 5 years ago, I would be foolish enough or in need of a click and a view enough to go live about the person. However, today, no, I pick up the phone and I call. I think that's the only thing to do. Because once you get that click and that view off of the video because of you going live on somebody that you have developed some type of care for, then what next? It's something that you have to learn as you grow and mature, especially up in this virtual space. But I'm a firm believer if you have direct communication with the person, definitely reach out that way. That didn't happen in this circumstance. And as you could see, it was something that slowly built up and built up and built up and built up. Good morning, NAB. Good morning. I believe that Rico expected some type of phone call in order to have some type of private correction. That didn't happen in this case. That pissed him off. But I think before he was pissed off, he was mostly saddened and disappointed. Then once he got over the disappointment of it all, it turned into anger. Then from it turning into anger, it turned into the back and forth videos. It was a build-up and an escalation, and dare I say it, a dick slanging competition between two men who were friends on here. Now people are saying they did not have a friendship. But y'all, I'm not helping nobody move their shit from an apartment to a storage facility if I don't consider you a friend. I ain't doing that. I'm not in the market for doing volunteer work. And I'm definitely not in the market for doing that type of hard labor for somebody that I don't consider a friend. I ain't about to do that unless you about to pay me. If you gonna have me take time out of my own day to help you pack up stuff from your last location and move it over to storage. But I don't consider you a friend doing all that? Please. Hell, it's some relatives of mine that might need help moving something. And they'll have to let me know in advance. But either way, we got people now trying to smooth over the situation and say, well, they weren't really friends. It wasn't a friendship. Well, I guess. I mean, are y'all doing that type of stuff to the strangers in y'all neighborhood, like helping them move and shit? How many times do you go outside of your out of where you live and you see your neighbor, somebody down the street with a whole U-Haul? Do you just randomly go on over there and be like, hey, how in the hell are you? I see you packing up this U-Haul. Let me go ahead and help you. Let me go ahead and spend 4 or 5 hours out of my day helping you. Why don't I? Ain't nobody doing that. I think it's backpedaling and pussy popping now from the people that's saying that wasn't a friendship. But call it whatever you will. Either way, I believe that it could have been handled much differently. Now, with this whole thing that happened with Rico getting locked up, I feel bad for him, and honestly, it made my day very, very heavy yesterday. Believe it or not, it was just very heavy on my spirit because the first thing that I could think about was how long he gonna be up in there and if he gonna be able to get his medication. Another thing that I thought about was he's always talked about his auntie Sparkle done passed away and now his grandma done passed away. He up in he in New York by himself, and then for this. Then I got to thinking about, well, what's gonna happen to the dog now? It's funny how people say that they care for the dog and they trying to save the dog. However, doing something like this caused the dog to be taken, and now we don't know where in the hell the dog is. We don't know if he at another shelter. We don't know if he's somewhere caged up. We don't even know if the dog got food or water last night. We don't know anything. We don't know if the dog done been for a walk. I heard so many people saying that Rico does not need a dog. He don't need one. It's a lot of people on this application and in real life that don't need children, but they have them. Are you going to be going for the people that don't need kids? Or are you going to go and make it your due diligence to go ahead and pick up their kids? Go ahead and open up your front door to their kids? Are you going to do this for the dogs? I'm a firm believer that regardless of what people say about Rico, I think that the dog might have been in a better circumstance with him than in one of those pounds and stuff. In the kennel, cramped up, using the bathroom where he got to sleep. Because y'all have to understand that them kennels, them cages that they put them in, they use the bathroom in there where they sleep. Ain't nobody coming out and walking them regularly. So it's a lot of different things. And I'm just like, did you really care about the dog? Did you though? Not only that, some of those kennels are so overly populated to the point to where they euthanize dogs in those kennels on a regular basis because they would prefer to euthanize the dog so that they can make space and make room for the next dogs. That's just a fact. Then I got to thinking when people say, well, Rico don't need a dog. And I was just over there at ODS a little bit earlier. He was live about an hour or two ago. And I brought it up to them about all the homeless people that you see with a damn dog. in any major city, but specifically New York, you can go outside and you could see a homeless person sleeping on the ground with their dog. You could see a homeless person looking dirty and filthy, walking around with their dog. You can see them seated out in front of a convenience store with a sign begging you for spare change with the dog right there by them. The Zulu, come on now, I'm doing my show. The homeless person doesn't, he's not, the homeless person isn't able to afford shelter for himself, so the dog ain't got no shelter. The homeless person can't even afford food for himself. That's why he out there begging for spare change. So, I mean, is he feeding the dog? Are people calling the animal rescue when you see these homeless people with the dog that might have not even ate because the homeless person can't afford to feed himself? I mean, when you really look at it, when you truly, truly look at it, y'all, I don't know that this was entirely about the care for the dog. And I'm just keeping it real. Good morning to everybody coming in. Good morning to everybody. And good morning, Asia. So, what I wanted to do, and I guess because I've been a dog owner, first off, as a child, I had a couple of dogs. So I learned how to deal with dogs back then, but as a child, all of my dogs were outdoor dogs. It wasn't until I became an adult that I actually got my first inside dog. And that was my Shih Tzu that I had. And I remember preparing for getting him. I was one of those real technical people where I actually bought books about Shih Tzus. I actually did the research before I even bought the Shih Tzu to decide on which type of dog worked for me. Which type of dog worked for me as far as my schedule goes, as far as the temperament of the dog, the exercise requirements of the dog, all that kind of stuff. I thoroughly researched it before I got my Shih Tzu. And that was a good time. Having my Shih Tzu, he lived to be almost 14. So he lived a good life. Now I have Zulu. Zulu, when I decided to get Zulu, I researched this breed of dog as well to decide if I can, if he is a good fit for my schedule and what he needs and everything like that. One thing within my research, though, that I had to do was, oh, good, ODS, thank you. One thing in my research that I did have to do, y'all, was research about discipline. That's something that you have to research, but I know a lot of people just don't like to read, but you do. You should. You should research. You should get a better understanding. Because as a puppy, you do need the discipline. Now, I'm going to stick a pin right there and also say, though, the difference between my dogs that I have had as an adult versus what Rico had going on is I've never rescued a dog. Rescuing a dog is its own separate problem, y'all. And when I say it's a problem, I mean you are not privy to all of the trauma and all of the abuse or neglect that dog might have had. Unfortunately, when you adopt a dog, all of the baggage that comes with that dog's experience in life and experience around humans comes right along with it. That's one of the reasons why I always was leaned on the side of not adopting, because I would like to know what the dog has gone through. I don't want to be guessing and possibly trigger the dog because I'm doing something that the old owner might have done that scared him or something. I don't want that. But I applaud the people who do adopt. For me, I've always gotten my dogs from a professional breeder where I was able to meet the mother and the father. And then the dog was, of course, a puppy. And I was able to have a dog with a clean slate, no trauma, no abuse, no anything. And then that way, I could then train this dog in which I would like for him to be. Now, I did go ahead and pull up one piece of documentation here. So, this is going to be slightly educational because I think that it needs to be had. I believe instead of people just being quick to call the CPS, damn, the animal control and all this, maybe sometimes you just need to tell somebody or teach somebody what they don't know. That's a possibility. So anyway, I went on to trusty Google. So let me go ahead and bring up this document here. And I typed in, how do mother dogs discipline their puppies? And y'all, here is what comes up. Mother dogs use a variety of natural and gentle methods to discipline their puppies, including vocalizations, body language, and physical corrections. These methods help puppies learn boundaries, social skills, and appropriate behavior within the pack. In this Google search, it has a video here just showing how the mom is, correcting her puppy's behavior. And then also here you got a breakdown of how the dog disciplines. The verbalizations consist of growling, barking, or a short vocalization can signal disapproval or a warning to the puppy. Body language. A stiff posture, a direct stare, or a gentle nudge can communicate that the puppy's behavior is not acceptable. Physical corrections. A mother dog might gently nip at a puppy's neck or push it away to discourage unwanted actions. She may also pin the puppy down briefly to reinforce a position of submission. Timeouts. A mother dog might walk away from a puppy that is being overly persistent or annoying, teaching the puppy that its behavior has consequences. Nipping at the neck. A mother dog may nip at the puppy's neck to discourage biting or rough play. This is a natural behavior that helps puppies learn bite inhibition. Then there is also a video here showing the mother dog licking and gently playing with the puppy to teach it social skills. The main part that I wanted to hone in on is this right here, this final paragraph. It's important to note that while these corrections can seem harsh to humans, they are normal and necessary for puppies to learn appropriate behavior and social skills. Mother dogs are focused on raising healthy and well-adjusted puppies, and these corrections are a part of that process. I want you to understand, it says it may seem harsh. Even in the nature and even in the wild, the mother dog has to discipline. Now the question is, Rico disciplining his dog, was it too far? That's the question. People had a problem with him fussing and cussing at the dog, but mother dogs have to use verbalizations or vocalizations when they have their puppies. If the puppy is doing the wrong thing and the mother dog has to take the paw and put that paw out there, like, look, chill, calm down. Or sometimes the mother dog might even need to pin the puppy down, like, hold on, calm down, chill out. Those things are normal. But what does it look like in TV? No, I ain't never smacked them. No. What does it look like when a human disciplines? And just to answer your question, NTV, when I first got Zulu here and I was trying to teach him correction, the first thing that I researched that I did was getting a spray bottle of water. If you get a spray bottle of water, anytime the puppy is going somewhere that he shouldn't go, you could just spray a little bit of the water. First off, the water is not going to hurt them. It's going to get their attention. Once it gets their attention, especially depending on if your dog even likes water, because most dogs don't like baths, so they don't like that. I know Zulu, he don't even like going outside up in the rain. But if you use the spray bottle, it will get the dog's attention, and then you could turn around and make eye contact and redirect the dog into another direction to tell them what to do. From the spray bottle, we eventually graduated to me just being able to snap my finger. Well, first, no, let me correct that. After the spray bottle, I started clapping to get his attention. Like if he hear me clap my hands, he's going to look at me to see, okay, he's going to look to see if I'm giving him approval of what he is doing or not. From the clap, you can graduate to snapping your finger. And from snapping your finger, now if Zulu is doing something wrong, all I have to do is point at what he is doing and he is going to stop. But this is because I've been raising him since he was a puppy. When I brought him here, he was 7 weeks old. He had no previous trauma. He had no previous trauma or anything like that was going to interfere with me teaching him and with him learning. Not to mention, I've never had to hit him because with me getting him during COVID or shortly after COVID, because I got Zulu in 2022, I believe. And because the pandemic was still kind of iffy, me and him spent the majority of the time together so that I had the opportunity to teach him. That's another problem that I notice with people with dogs. If you have a dog and you don't have enough time in the day to actually spend time with that dog, to bond with that dog, to talk to that dog, to properly train the dog, there is going to be an issue. If you get a dog and you so busy with your work day that all you doing is leaving the dog kind of shut off up in the house by itself, it's going to learn to do anything because you're not there to correct it. But luckily for me, because it was a pandemic when I got him, we had ample time and opportunity for me to truly teach him on a one-on-one 24/7 basis. So I don't have to smack him, no. Even right now, you heard him. He was ready to wake up, and I said, come on out. But he had to bark to let me know, hey, I'm up. I'm ready to come out. And I said, come out. He ran over there to his water bowl. And then he went back up in to lay down where he at. Now, most people ain't even taught how to do things, and that's the problem that I think that I have with this circumstance, because it seems that the way Rico was brought up, he said that they got a lot of physical discipline up in his household, so that's why he thinks that's okay. On the other hand, I never got really physical discipline up in my household. Maybe a couple of times I would get a whooping, but it had to have been something dire. But for the most part, I was raised with my mama taking things away from me. With me being an only child, all of the things that belonged to me, my games and stuff like that, those things meant the world to me. So if I had to go without that, that was more than a whooping could ever do. But then you got certain people that were raised up in households to where, because they might have not have had anything to begin with, it was just always physical. And I think that's the difference between me and Rico. Because Rico was really thinking that what he was doing is the correct way to raise the dog. And that's not the correct way to raise the dog. But was it meaning that the dog was in danger? That's the part of it all that really is just like, I think y'all putting 20 on 10. Because I done heard so many people say the dog was in danger. He abused. And I'm thinking to myself, have you really seen an abused dog? Because maybe some of y'all really ain't seen no abused dog. Have you truly seen an abused dog? If you think that dog in that little clip of video that everybody was talking about means that it was being abused and that it was in danger. Y'all put a motherfucking 20 on 10 and the dramatics are out of this world. And I stand on that. I stand on that. He was in danger. Y'all remember Ronnie Q used to have her perfect pet competition. And we watched so many people within the beef sector enter into the perfect pet competition with their pets and teach these pets how to do tricks. And even in certain cases had to force them to do the trick for the competition so that they could win some money. Is it abuse to force your pet to do a trick for the camera? I mean, let's really talk about it. If the dog just want to chill and relax, but you wanted to put on the show so that you could try to win a prize pot over at Ronnie Q's, is that considered abuse? Because you're making the dog do something that the dog might not necessarily want to do. And you forcing him to do it while on camera because he only have a set amount of time to do what you wanted him to do. But I ain't seen no outrage about that kind of stuff. And I actually saw many people, joining the competition and all this. Hell, Zulu don't like to wear clothes. It was one competition that was like a doggy sweater competition that somebody in the black sector did. And I had entered Zulu in it and I put him on the New Orleans Saints jersey. And he didn't want that jersey on at all. He ran around trying to bite it off of him. He was trying to pull it off of him and all this kind of stuff. He didn't want it. He sat down and posed briefly with that jersey on just so that I could let the people see him with it. Let the people see him with it on. And then as soon as I was done, I took that off of him and I ain't put him on that again. Is that abuse? Forcing your dog to wear some damn clothes that he don't want to wear? Is that abuse? Forcing your dog to put on shoes that he don't want to put on? When you think about the semantics of it all, your idea of abuse might be a different thing than my idea of abuse, because I don't believe in forcing a dog to wear something that's not natural, and that they truly don't want to wear. But how many times you see people with their dogs up in these damn clothes? How many times? Now you know damn well that dog would prefer to be able to run free just the way it is. Is the dog being abused? Okay, so now that I got that point out, I feel like a phone conversation would have rectified this, just so that the information could be provided to let Rico know, hey, Rico, this is the wrong way to go about having a dog. Let me give you some tips on what you need to try. Don't come online and be doing that to that dog, especially with the beef sector looking at you, and especially with the history that you already had with them and the cat. Don't do that. I think that would have been the best approach, instead of just immediately calling the people. And that's the reason why I feel like there is a missing piece of the puzzle somewhere, y'all. There is some disconnect somewhere. Because to go from being cool and being YouTube friends or a friendship, I mean, me and Rico was just on that man's panel about, I would say about 3 months ago, y'all. 3, maybe 4 months ago. Me and Rico sat on that man's panel while he was doing a drinking live. And they were fine. So something had to have happened between then and now that caused him to leap from, no, I'm not going to call you and correct you or try to give you advice, but I'm just going to call these people on you. So there's that on that. That could have been handled differently, and I really do hate that that happened with Rico. Let me look at my comments real quick. Let's see. Jamie said, you get a lot of grief in the sector, J.Dunn, but you are sensible and make the most sense, but people always talking down to you. Right. That's true, Jamie. I be knowing what I be talking about because I do the research. And good morning, Michelle. Good morning, Melissa. Michelle said, then you have all these simple ass people called everyone. People stop doing the most on here. Jamie said, there is no disconnect. He did it for clout. He was never Rico's friend. Same way Roman did of TMO. And who knows who else. What's good, Deanna? Good morning. And what's good, Gigi? Now, the next thing that I thought about, and again, this goes to what about your frenemies? Because clearly a frenemy is really trying to see you go down to do something like that to you when it could have been corrected in another way. Then that's just on period. That could have been corrected in a completely different way. And I'm going to give y'all a little sneak peek as well. Sean did an open Zoom last night. That's probably why y'all didn't see me in the B sector streets, because y'all know I'm a member over there up on this Patreon. And when I got my email notification about Sean having an open Zoom, I went over there to see, what was going on and what was going to be discussed. Sean was bringing up the fact that a phone call could have sufficed. But then Sean also brought up a fact that I didn't even think about. Sean said, if all of these people thought that they were protecting the dog by calling these folks on Rico, did they ever think what type of danger they was putting the dog in after them folks left? Sean equated it to like your next door neighbor who is abusing his girlfriend over there. And you always notice that he over there whooping his girlfriend ass. So one day you decide to go ahead and pick up your phone and call the authorities and say, look, this couple over here fighting this domestic violence, he over here whooping this girl ass. Can you go check into it? Only for the police to show up. And once the girl is questioned about what happened to her, she go ahead and lie and play it off. Oh no, he just got off work. No, I got this bruise because I had fell down the stairs. He just got off work. He didn't do anything to me. And so of course the police gonna leave like, okay, well, there ain't no issue here. Only for that man to turn around and beat the girl even worse because the police was called over there in the first place. It does make you wonder if the dog was put in more danger because of all these calls. Was it making Rico more angry than he already was because y'all was poking and prodding and calling, and the people was coming and leaving and coming and leaving, and the only thing that would face the rage about that stuff or the frustration about those calls is the dog. Definitely something to think about. I had not thought about that take on it, but he gave that example, which is one to think about going forward. And what's good, Yvonne? Good morning. Now, also, one thing that I will tell y'all is that Sean was actually doing his open Zoom at the very same time that Phi Babe was live. I honestly think Phi Babe lied to y'all because in that open Zoom, and I was there from the beginning, He didn't mention nothing about no damn wedding or done got married or none of that bullshit. He did. So for me to leave out of the Zoom and end up seeing all these people talking about he done got married, the captivating Christian, and that Bye Babe said it, I was like, what? Because I was just in the Patreon with them and he didn't mention nothing about that. And I'm like, come on now. And I damn sure know that if my baby's insinuating that she had a mole or a spy up in there, then her mole or her spy lied to her, because there was nothing about a wedding or anything like that discussed in there. Actually, if you must know, and this is a piece of the information that I did want to give y'all, I guess it's okay now. I'm happy that I attended that Zoom, because Sean did state that that is going to be his final open Zoom. He expressed disgust about this whole situation with Rico now. He expressed how crazy it was that all of this done went this far. And he said that that was going to be his last and final open Zoom. Even this morning, I woke up and I checked Spotify just to see if he uploaded that conversation on the Spotify, but I haven't seen it uploaded to Spotify yet. I don't know how long it might take for it to upload over there, but it's not on Spotify. But he did say that was going to be his final open Zoom, and he said the rest of his Zooms are going to be private. I think what people failing to realize is that even this that happened with Rico, making other people take a step back, including, I mean, Sean already took a step back already, but now he taking even a more step back because of this that happened. So I did want to let y'all know that it was a very interesting dialogue and debate that I was able to just listen in to what they were saying about their thoughts, but primarily it was just Sean speaking about his thoughts about it. But I wanted to give that example to y'all as one that he used that I think a lot of people ain't thinking about. Now, let me see what Gigi said. They don't care. It's like when people call child protective services, not caring what they putting the child through by calling. Yeah, Gigi. Now, another thing that I wanted to bring to y'all's attention about this whole fiasco is that what is it that people are trying to make Rico feel some type of way for going and getting his health checkups? Now, I don't watch the beef sector ridicule Chat Rep for the last 2 to 3 years because Chat Rep said that she had never gotten a pap smear before. So everybody drug her, talked about it, say she got steak and puss and all this kind of stuff for this whole time about her not getting pap smears. But then in return, I witnessed people ridicule Rico because he went to the doctor and got him one. Good morning, Rhonda. Good morning, Kimberly Black. Actually witness them ridicule him about him going to the damn doctor. And I'm thinking to myself, for those of y'all that's ridiculing him, shouldn't we be ridiculing y'all, especially if y'all bottoms? The fact that Rico is going to get his anus checked up because he know what he do with his anus. And a lot of y'all doing the same thing with y'all booty hole, but y'all ain't even going to the doctor to get it looked at. Y'all running around here like a Chat Rep. How in the hell y'all don't let every Tom, Dick, and Harry stick dick up y'all asses for the last 35, 45, 50 years, and y'all ain't went and got y'all assholes looked at? But y'all laughing and joked out about Rico? But then when Chat Rep said that she had never gotten a pap smear, y'all dragged her, called her nasty. Well, ain't y'all nasty? Ain't y'all? Let's talk about it. Now, I did look this up because then I heard people saying, oh, men don't get pap smears. They don't get pap smears. And y'all know I love to prove a good point. So let's go ahead and get right here. Because it seems like a lot of these gay men, they ain't doing what they need to do. It's not that Rico is strange. Oh, no. It might be y'all. It might be y'all. This states an anal pap smear, also known as anal cytology or an anal pap test, is a procedure used to screen for anal cancer and precancerous changes in the anal area. It involves collecting cells from the anus, which are then examined under a microscope for abnormalities. This screening is particularly important for individuals at higher risk, such as those with HIV or a history of HPV infection. Now, because we all know that Rico has HIV, then that's clearly why he has to go and take this test. So what is so abnormal about that? What is so funny about it? Why is it such a kiki and a cackle that he had to go and get this procedure when if you are a man living with HIV, that's what you're supposed to do? But you quick to make fun of somebody, even though he is doing exactly what he is supposed to do. Not only that, but if you look closely, it says the anal pap smear, which so many of these men was like, men don't get pap smears. I was at ODS's and I told them about a pap smear, and they said, no, it's a prostate exam. They corrected me saying it's a prostate exam, not a pap smear. Meanwhile, that means y'all don't, and not ODS, not specifically ODS, but his audience and stuff. Well, y'all don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. Now, again, I'm sick of y'all trying to correct me all willy-nilly like y'all done went and did the research, because you damn sure know that I done went and did the research. Before I speak on anything, I'm going to research it first. But an anal pap smear is a procedure where cells are collected from the anus to check for abnormalities. How it's done: a swab like a Q-tip is inserted a few inches into the anus and rotated to collect cells. The collected cells are sent to the lab for examination under a microscope. The procedure is similar to a cervical pap smear, but done in the anal area. Who needs it? Individuals with HIV, especially those older than 35. Well, Rico is about 30. I think Rico about 35, 36. So he is doing what he is supposed to do. I don't see where the shame is or why the ridicule, because he's taking care of his health and he's taking care of his body. It also states people with a history of HPV infection or anal dysplasia, smokers, and those with weakened immune systems may need it. Individuals with a history of HPV or genital warts. In some cases, it may be recommended, and this is the part that I wanted. In some cases, it may be recommended for gay and bisexual men. But meanwhile, all these gay and bisexual men in the beef sector had no idea about this and wanted to make fun of Rico for it. Even though it says it may be recommended for y'all. So are y'all taking care of y'all health? Are y'all taking care of y'all's health? Why y'all always talking about you a bottom and how you getting bust down and all this kind of stuff? You getting bust down and all this kind of stuff, but are you actually taking care of your health while y'all be sitting y'all asses on here trying to drag the women and drag Chat Rep about her pap smear? Meanwhile, some of y'all might need a pap smear and y'all ain't even know. How about that? But it may be recommended for gay and bisexual men and for individuals with a history of anal cancer. It also states that early detection helps detect anal cancer and precancerous lesions early when treatment is more effective. Y'all, it's very, very interesting how much people just ridicule people just because. Because at the end of the day, it seemed like Rico is actually doing the right thing. And it seemed like some of y'all might be walking around here with a dirty ass. Y'all might need to go ahead and get your swab so that you can see what you got up in yours. So that you can see what you got in yours, since you worried about what somebody else got in theirs. So again, now who should be laughing at who? Like, and then the fact that they running around saying Rico got anal cancer. Well, excuse me, I think all of y'all as gay and bisexual men should be trying to get checked up about it, because the thing said that it's recommended. Especially if you got dick going in and out of your asshole, it's recommended. Now, you might have to become a certain age for it. And I think Rico has to do it more so because of his HIV status. But for the most part, because you are using your anus the way that we use our vaginas, we have to go get pap smears on a yearly basis. Y'all need to be getting y'all assholes checked on a yearly basis. But y'all call Rico nasty. Oh, okay. The fact that y'all running around here thinking that the only thing that y'all need to do as men is a prostate exam. Well, clearly not. So y'all might need to talk to y'all primary care physician and let him know that you need to get a swab up your ass. Especially since you've been running around fucking and sucking the way that you do. Kimberly Black said, if you're in a health high-risk population, there are specific health issues that need to be addressed. And Gigi said, I didn't know there was a butt tap smear, no pun intended. Hey, good morning, DVD. Good morning, everybody that came in. Sorry, y'all, I was reading. Kimberly Black said, everyone, please go get your routine and annual exam, please, and thank you. Dirty Laundry telling me about his live. What we want to hear from is, are you going to show us proof that he is in a better home? You know something? I don't know if anybody going to be able to prove that, because this is one thing too that really had kind of got me. It struck a nerve with me about this whole situation, because I heard Rico say that dog was a pit bull mix, and I hope y'all know that with the stigma that is on the pit bull breed of animals, it's hard for them to find homes anyway. That's the fucked up part. The fact that pit bulls they have a reputation for being so vicious and dangerous of a breed. It's hard to find homes for those types of dogs. So the fact that Rico was able to provide some type of home for this dog really does say a lot, because in a lot of areas, it's sometimes against the law to have the pit bull. It's sometimes against the law to have certain breeds of dogs, especially depending on what city or state that you live in. So with the dog having to go back to the pound or go back to wherever in the hell they took him to, y'all, there is a high chance that the dog might not get adopted. And then he might get euthanized. That's a fact. And then I was hearing somewhere too, where they said that Rico might would have lost that dog anyway, because Rico was illegally having the dog, because I guess in Rico's area, pit bull breed is not allowed. Which I don't know, because I don't know Rico's area like that. But I do know here in Georgia, there are certain breeds and certain pets in general that you can't have, and it's against the law. I don't know if y'all know it, but in Georgia, you can't have a pet monkey. You know how you can go on YouTube and you can see these families that have these pet monkeys and stuff? In Georgia, that's against the law. If you up in Georgia and they catch you with a damn pet monkey, your ass going to jail. Would you believe it? That's why I be telling everybody reading is definitely fundamental, because you can move to a new city or a new state and not even know that your pet may truly be against the law in that area. There was a dog called the Cane Corso, a big dog. If you actually look up Cane Corsos are actually banned in multiple states, and people don't even know it. People don't even know that the Cane Corso is banned. So imagine, and the reason why I'm mentioning the Cane Corso, because I know one person that had one, and I actually know somebody else who wanted one. And I always say, don't get it, because if you ever decide to move, or for whatever reason y'all need to move, you would hate to end up having to move somewhere and your dog is illegal. Because they'll lock your ass up and euthanize the dog. That's truly a fact. So people are saying that the dog was against the rules for Rico to even have the dog to begin with. But I don't know how true that is. And I don't understand how they would let the dog get adopted if it was illegal for you to have that type of dog. And I just want to show y'all this, what I was talking about too, just so y'all know that I ain't making shit up. And y'all, I'm telling you, I'm an avid reader. I just am. And so I be always coming across different things, and I look up shit because I be curious. I want to know. So let me go ahead and present the screen right here. This right here is about the Cane Corso. And look, while there are no federal bans on Cane Corsos in the United States, some states and localities have breed-specific legislation that restricts or prohibits ownership of certain breeds, including the Cane Corso. So if you live in Arkansas, Colorado, Idaho, Kansas, Nebraska, South Dakota, and Washington, it may be against the law for you to have a Cane Corso. And the only way that you would even be able to know that is if you took the time to read. If you took the time to read. When you get those breeds of dogs that can grow to be very big and potentially vicious. Good morning, Sandra. You definitely want to do research about that. But I say all that to say, because now I've been hearing people say that the dog was illegal for Rico to have in the first place. I don't know what to believe. But I do know that the dog probably, I'm sure that they fed the dog. They gave the dog water. But I feel like the dog probably got lost in the sauce. I was even hearing that if the shelter that the dog was sent to is not a no-kill shelter, then the dog could potentially be euthanized right on the spot. And I was told that sometimes it's a matter of days that they might euthanize a dog like that, especially if it is true that the dog is banned in that area. So it's a really sad. Good morning, Olivia, moderator. So it's a really sad, sticky situation with this whole dog thing in the Rico. But I really wanted to know, do you actually care about the dog? Or was this just a moment for clicking a view? Was it a moment to prove, don't mess with me, I'm Billy Badass? I mean, what was this just to have a moment? And then I was debating with Wiley Monday night about the beef sector and about the new people and the state of the sector and all these types of things. And Wiley specifically asked me, I kid y'all not, on Monday night, he said, even though me and VS had a rocky past up in the beef sector before, he said that he was surprised that me and VS kind of agree on a lot of things when it comes to the new people. And I said, yeah. I said, and I believe the reason why is until you have had your life touched by these new people, then you can never understand. Only for me to wake up Tuesday morning and Rico get locked up. Getting locked up because somebody that was supposed to be his friend needed a moment. Or somebody who was supposed to be his friend didn't have the decency to just pick up the phone and call. Good morning, Lady Nika. Thank you. I appreciate you for making it here. Asia said, may depend on his building type too. Some buildings in New York City don't permit pit bulls. Asia said, I don't understand that, since to adopt, he would need to bring in proof that the landlord permits the breed. But who knows? And then Gigi said, I heard they give 3 days, but I don't know if that's true. Yeah, I heard something about 3 days as well, Gigi. And that's my thought. I'm like, well, if it takes 3 days for Rico to get up out of there, y'all, by the time he try to get to the shelter to try to get the dog back, the dog could be out of here. And I'm just being real. If it take him a process of a few days just to get out of this situation with him being locked up, y'all, he could legit go to try to find the dog, and the dog could already be gone. Euthanized. So it's just like, wow, what's really going on? Thank you for contributing to my goal, Lady Nika. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Olivia said, J.Dunn, where I reside, they gave us an entire booklet of dogs that are allowed. They have photos of the dogs and the cats. Okay. And Asia said, shelters are full, so I can believe 3 days. Yeah. So right now, Rico already spent one full day there. So just imagine, he spent the full day of Tuesday. So now we at Wednesday and Thursday. So y'all, heaven forbid that dog really could be put down by Friday if Rico ain't got out and got him yet. Friday, y'all. The dog was living his life with Rico, at least with a place to stay and food to eat and water to drink. Thank you, Lady Nika. Again, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. On Monday, he found with Rico. On Tuesday, they done took him away. And heaven forbid, by Friday, they could have just took his life. That is horrible. But that's a part of it that nobody really thought about. That's the part of it that nobody really thought about. When all of this really could have been corrected by picking up the phone. I got a couple of my actual friends who have been new dog owners. And sometimes they'll have to ask me questions about dog correction. I just talk to them. Well, don't do this, don't do that. Specifically, I was speaking to y'all on here on one of my morning lives a couple of weeks back, I think. And I was explaining to y'all about free feeding the animal. If you have an inside dog, you typically don't want to free feed them. And when I say free feed, I mean just fill up a bowl of food and just let it lay there in the middle of the floor so that they could eat as they please all day long. You don't want to do that because you need to be measuring out the food. As long as they see the food out there, you could have a dog that's a greedy dog that'll just keep eating it and eating it and eating it and eating it, even if he's not hungry. And then now you got him having accidents all over your house, which then causes another problem. But if you actually take the time to measure out the food, then you are giving him the amount that he needs, and then you can allow him to go to the restroom. Then you won't have to worry about no accident up in your house. Good morning, Teddy. Lady Nika said, oh, yeah, it is the wrong channel, Lady Nika. You still got your membership, girl. You said that you sleepy, so that's probably why you got confused. But, yeah, you still have your membership. It's just on the Dunn Daughter channel. But yeah, sometimes you have to explain to people about what they're doing wrong with the pet, because a lot of times they don't know. I mean, to be honest, it's just like what y'all say about parenting. Y'all say it ain't no manual, it ain't no instructions, it's not no handbook to teach you how to be a good parent. That's the same thing with a pet owner. And especially if you get a pet that don't meet your lifestyle. Like, case in point, the reason why I have not gotten a big dog is because A, I'm not a fan of big dogs, but also B, I don't have a full backyard where I live. When you get big dogs, they need exercise. They need a backyard that they can run around and play around in. They need that. Whereas small dogs don't need all of that. Smaller dogs are more appropriate for condo life, or if you live in an apartment, that's more appropriate. But you got to do the research to learn all of that. But if you just go get a big ass dog and you living up in an apartment, that ain't enough space. That's not enough space for the dog. It's a lot of reading and research that people really need to do before getting pets, but they never really do it. They just want a pet. They just want a pet. So yeah, I think that all of this, it's sad that all of this could have been avoided by a simple phone call. That's it. Just a simple phone call. Asia says she got fish. Well, wonderful, Asia. Wonderful. Oh, yeah, Demetra got fish too. Demetra got fish too. And I mean, you have to get the pet that's best for your lifestyle. I used to have fish when I was a kid, but as an adult, I wouldn't dare do it because I remember the time consuming and how tedious it was to change out the fish tank and change out the water and all that. It was a lot to do. And I knew just from my childhood and me and my mama, changing out my fish tank when I was younger, that was a lot to do. Even once I became a teenager and I realized that fish wasn't the thing that I liked, I went and got a hermit crab. Y'all, I used to have hermit crabs as a teenager. Now that aquarium, I didn't mind changing out because you didn't really have to have a whole bunch of water, but you just have the hermit crab just chilling. Now that I think about it, I'd have had a couple of like different pets. And I guess I never would have thought to myself to be a pet lover because I'm really not. But I guess to a certain degree, I am because I've had like so many different types of pets. When I was a teenager, I did want to get like a hamster or a guinea pig, but my mama always said that I wasn't bringing a rat in her house, and she meant that, even though it was a hamster, even though it was a guinea pig. She said, "Ain't no rat coming into her house." Good morning, Demon Soul. Good morning, DC moderator. Lady Nika said she had a rabbit. Girl, my mama probably would have looked at a rabbit as a rat too. Anything that was small like that and furry was a damn rat to her. And I'm like, that ain't no rat. She ain't play about that. But yeah, so I mean, most of the time people want the mess, the mess, the mess. But this morning, I wanted to educate y'all and inform y'all of a few things, especially inform some of these men that's making fun of Rico for going to get his anal pap smear. I need to educate y'all on the fact that while y'all laughing, y'all should be going to get y'all. Or at least inquiring with your doctor to see if it's recommended for you to get one. All of this has been a hot ass mess. But like what I said, Sean in his open Zoom, he said this was too much doing too much, way too much. And he said that he was no longer going to be doing any more open Zooms. And him and his people really about to go behind the gates into the upper room. Behind the gates into the upper room. I have to let y'all know that, because then I think that's ultimately going to mean no more Spotify. No more Spotify's, no more open Zoom, no more any of that. There is always a consequence for this bullshit that's happening. Then I even heard Fi Babe doing her commentary said that she liked both of them, so she just not gonna get in the middle of it. Ciao. Hey, Roger Davis. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. And then, Wilder was saying, though, about the old beef sector used to do things like this. The one thing that I remember about the old beef sector, I don't know that they was putting criminal. Like, I think that people fail to realize that there is a difference between a criminal and a civil case. From my knowledge, the bulk of the cases that we encountered back then was civil. Like Sean and VS, that was civil. VS and Fi Babe, civil. People did call the cops, but not to get nobody arrested, I don't believe. But I would have to think. And then I heard Fi Babe say that honestly, you can't group it all in because everything was an individual basis, was on an individual basis. But I know that people that said that they were friends, helping each other move and shit, did not do any of that. Now that I can assure you. No, Demon Soul, you missed it. The Zoom, you was only able to see it through his Patreon. But I don't even know if he saved it. I'm not sure if he saved it or not. But he said that that was his final one. He gave his final words and everything. It was like this big dramatic exit speech. It was good too. It was so good. He gave his dramatic exit speech. But yeah. Oh, but that's what I was saying about the frenemies. People that considered themselves friends back then never once went this far with each other. Now, if they were already against each other, then that's a different story. But ain't no friends doing that. That's just like, and I'm happy Lady Nika up in here. Lady Nika, James, and Sean, once upon a time, they all was friends. Imagine if they would have been trying to get each other locked up. That's crazy as hell, because then you're going to be like, well, what type of friend are you? But even with that beef over all these years, they ain't never try to send each other to jail. And the crazy thing is, they had information on each other where they possibly could have. They had so much information up on one another personally that if they wanted to be vindictive with each other, they probably could have. I mean, hell, even if we're gonna be honest, when I think back to back then, and hey Barry, good morning. Outside April had a shit ton of dogs. And I think it was even talks back then where people knew that Onside April had too many dogs by law. But I don't recall anybody trying to call to get Onside April locked up because she had too many dogs. But then I think I did hear VS said was somebody tried to call about her for having too many dogs. it's just very, very interesting. Just how all of this played out, y'all. And that's really all I could say. When I woke up this morning, at first I didn't even really feel like coming here and giving y'all content because I didn't feel like talking about Lemon and that bullshit that happened over there. Essentially, they said Lemon got sunned by Lil Buckwheat last night. Lil Buckwheat was cussing Lemon the hell out up on his platform. It was a whole hoopla, and the potential threat of Lil Buckwheat P-bombing Lemon last night to the point to where Lemon just ended his live abruptly to keep from getting a P-bomb. And the only thing that I have to say about that is Lemon be having some very harsh commentary about YouTube cameras and about me and how he feel like I am when I'm at YouTube cameras platform, even to the point where he stopped in the past and said that YouTube cameras channel is not her channel, but it's actually my other channel. Which I don't even know how Lemon could fix his Lemon Vandross lips to say such a thing. When if we're gonna be honest, YouTube cameras channel could be considered his channel because most of her commentary is about him. But he said that her channel is my channel because I run the channel. Meanwhile, Lil Buckwheat ran his channel and then got mad when he put the banner up and wouldn't let the banner down. Lady Nika said, I love them. They are the reason I'm here and sustained through the years. Yeah, Lemon Van Drops. Good morning, pretty chocolate girl. But yeah, so, it seemed like Lil Buck, we did a takeover. ODS did give me the timestamp if any of y'all are interested in going to give Lemon Van Drops a replay. ODS told me it's the 2 hour and the 20-minute mark of Lemon Van Drops live where all the mess kicked up. And he also stated that it got so out of hand that Lemon Van Dross ended up just ending the live abruptly. He did a YouTube cameras last night. He couldn't control what was going on. He was getting cussed out left and right by Lil Buckwheat. He was scared to take his banner down because he thought Lil Buckwheat was about to P-bomb him. He did all of that and end up abruptly ending his live. But see, I hear people say, well, J.Dunn must got something on YouTube cameras. She must got something on YouTube cameras. Well, I'm waiting on y'all to say Lil Buckwheat got something on Lemon. Lil Buckwheat got something on Lemon. Because how in the hell Lil Buckwheat done only been around Lemon for the last 2 months and Lil Buckwheat doing all that bull mess. But y'all don't ever call out the men. Hey, Crack Smoke. I was happy to see Triple Red X return. He returned briefly. I did see what Bertha Mae Jackson had posted a shady community wall post about Triple, only for Triple to go through his damn archives and find a comment from 5 years ago where Bertha Mae Jackson was licking his ass and saying how great he was. But then now today she's saying the man boring. I said, come on now, Bertha Mae. Now you done been around long enough to be getting caught slipping like that, where 5 years ago you loved the man and he was so intelligent and well-mannered and everything. But then today you talk about the man boring. Bertha Mae Jackson said lies. Well, I saw the receipt he had posted on this wall, Bertha. I saw it. Let me go get the receipt, because Bertha Mae said I'm lying, y'all. Hold on. Let me go get this damn receipt. Because I know Bertha Mae. Oh, Bertha Mae said he said y'all boring. He said y'all boring. Okay, so that's the part that's lies, Bertha Mae. Okay, my bad. My bad, Bertha. I stand corrected then. Oh, you didn't say he was boring. You didn't say he was boring. You said that he said we were boring. Okay, I got you. Well, I guess he about to be saying that we about to be even more boring because now Sean moving his group to the next tier, the upper room. So I don't think it's gonna be too much leaked from his Patreon. He ain't putting it on Spotify no more, y'all. I think he used to have an Apple podcast. He said ain't gonna be no more podcast. All of the perks that came with whatever he had going on over there, he about to put a halt to. And good morning, Demon. So I don't know if I said good morning or not. Yeah, please like my video. So it's about to be even more boring. I mean, hell, Rico went to jail for having his dog on camera. So it's probably about to get even more boring. They fussed at Rico for even letting the dog be on camera. They said Rico should not have brought the damn dog on camera, y'all. And I'm just like, he was trying to go set up the 4th of July for him and the dog. Damn. That's all he was trying to do. That's all he was trying to do. Okay, Bertha May, she said back listening. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, that's pretty much all I got for y'all. I can tell y'all in that Patreon Zoom last night, Sean did not say he was married to Cap. So I don't know where in the hell Phi Babe got that from. Sean ain't talk about no marriage, no wedding. I was up in there with all the club chat people, and I didn't see none of them saying, congratulations on your wedding. Congratulations that you just got married. I mean, I was up in there with them. I was in the place to be. And I ain't hear no congrats. They didn't play no music. Sean didn't release his wedding registry for them ladies to be able to buy something off of it. He didn't do none of that behind his Patreon paid wall. So I don't know where she got this mess saying that him and Cap got married. I feel like it's a lie, but I guess only time will tell. But I know in there was no talks about it. Even last night when I came in, normally I usually come into the Patreon Zoom as Dunn daughter. But last night, for some reason, I was like, let me come in as a different name. So I just changed my name to just something random and came in. And I did that intentionally because I didn't want them to know I was there. I mean, of course, Sean being the host, he know I'm there. But I didn't want anybody else in there to identify me. Because I wanted them to be natural and organic. And not once was they talking about, congratulations on the wedding. How is your new husband? So again, we'll just have to wait and see. But now that Sean moving things up to the next level, I don't know how it's going to be, how it can be confirmed unless Cap get out here saying something. Hey, Just Lovely. Just Lovely said, really? Yeah, girl, they out here saying that Sean and Cap married. Phi Babe done brought that up at the end of her live last night, said that Sean and Cap went and eloped this weekend and that they married now. And I'm thinking to myself, well, I ain't seen them saying congratulations up in the Zoom. They ain't say congratulations. Hell, y'all know I might would have had got his and his towel set or something off Amazon and sent it to him. His and his towel. His and his bow tie. Something. Would have got him a toaster for the housewarming. But I'm trying to figure out, how do people get married over the weekend and elope, but then they don't have no honeymoon? I was trying to figure out when she was going to give the tea about the honeymoon, but she did. I'm like, oh, they get married without a honeymoon? That's interesting. So, yeah, that's about all I can really tell you and all I can confirm. Oh, you got there late, Just Lovely? Oh, girl, I was there on time. I was checking my notifications yesterday. After all that Rico mess happened, I was checking my notifications all day. I said, I can't miss it. And to be honest, I was actually laying down and I had picked up my phone to make sure that my alarm was set. And I saw that the notification had came in my email. And I was like, oh shit, let me wake up. Let me get my headphones and put them on. Let me see what's going on. I was just ready to close my eyes and go to bed. But I said, let me see. And I'm so happy I did, considering that was his last one. So I'm happy I didn't miss it. But either way, y'all, I done been here for almost an hour and a half. That's really all I got for y'all. Because, again, there was some stuff happening at Lemons, y'all. But, I mean, child, it was Lemon Vandross. Let me go ahead and get my computer here situated. Y'all, thank y'all so much for joining me. I'm trying to look here to see what I can put here for the redirect. And like my video if you haven't. And thank you, Lady Nika, for the contribution that you gave me. It is greatly appreciated. I'm looking here. Okay. So yeah, it seemed like so many people was watching the clock counting down for me and YouTube cameras to fall out and say me and YouTube cameras was the frenemies. But hell, it looked like they was really the frenemies. And not Rico over there. But y'all, all I can say on the serious tip, y'all keep positive thoughts and prayers to Rico, because honestly, if he don't get out of there soon to be able to go get the dog, then the dog could seriously be euthanized within 3 days. So 3 days. And it's like, it's just a damn shame. You didn't care about the dog, no way, in my opinion. But yeah. Even if they do end up euthanizing the dog, unfortunately, at least you'll be able to remember and have some positivity in knowing that all dogs go to heaven. Thank you. Y'all have a wonderful Wednesday. Bye.